All right, what is going on, my friends? We are going to go through a real quick how-to with regards to cleaning the front camera housing, or the glass behind it specifically. I'm going to have just a couple of tools. You don't need a whole lot, depending specifically here. We have a Hardware 3, Model 3, 2020. I want to show off some tools. You can use picks like these. So you don't have to use all of these, of course, but whichever one best suits. You really want to be careful with your housing. Take your time. You can use a plastic sort of pick to try to get in here, where we have to take off this piece to get access to everything else. I just kind of put pressure on it and get a really thin flathead in there, just careful not to score the plastic, and then use one of these picks just to kind of pry down, as you'll see here, to pop this off. And that's really the most tedious part to this whole process. The rest is pretty simple. And I'm also using, just to show off, this like PC toolkit, because you're gonna need a T10 Torx to get the 2 screws that are in that housing to get access to the glass. You won't be actually disassembling, moving, or messing with the cameras themselves, so you do not need to recalibrate. I repeat, you're not messing with the actual cameras, so you do not need to recalibrate. A lot of folks just think that anytime anything is done whatsoever with the front cameras, even if too much time goes by, you should recalibrate. That is not true. That is a waste of time with a negligible effect. But if you just have to because it's just gonna drive you nuts, it also doesn't hurt to do it. Let's actually get this thing taken apart. I'm gonna be using my headlamp just to get a good view of everything. If it's a little dark, I've got the garage door open just so that more light comes in. And I'm gonna talk through this and we'll get through it. I'm not actually gonna clean it because I already did. It's kind of redundant. So feel free to move your mirror however you need to get access to this little housing on the back. I am going to come in on my side. You can do it on this side as well. It does not matter which side you do it on, but you're gonna wanna do it more towards the base. I am applying pressure just to get in. I guess I'll show you on this side to just give you an idea of what's going on. It's just hard with the camera there. So I'm gonna apply pressure to the side to get my flathead into this crease, just to apply some pressure to separate it, and then I'm gonna drive a pick to pull this out. It is the most tedious part. It can get annoying. Do not let yourself get too frustrated. Take your time. I have many years of experience as a mechanic, so you just gotta take your time, gotta be patient with materials, because sometimes they'll piss you off. So I'm holding the piece open here, and now I'm getting my pick kind of down toward the bottom just to get more leverage, and then you'll eventually hear it pop out, just like that. All right. Now, your first time doing this, you're likely gonna have something attached to this piece. I don't. If you do, just be careful. It'll be hooked in right here. If you can kind of see, I know lighting's a little weird. Let me help with my lamp here. So there we go. It'll be hooked in right here. So just be gentle when you pull it off. You don't really need to put it back in. I didn't, and it's fine. There's no harm done. I guess I'll just leave my headlamp on for the rest of this. Okay, so for this part, it's even easier, but also careful because you do have something plugged into your rear view mirror here. You want to get your thumb actually on the actual housing, and you're just gonna crank it counterclockwise. It's gonna feel a little tough, it's fine. Lefty loosey, righty tighty. And then you have a little tab in here. You need to compress this tab inwards to release it. And then just pull out. There you go. Set your mirror aside, make sure you don't mess up your glass. Now you have access to your actual housing. So here, it's really simple. Just get your hands here, pull back, come off the clips, just like that. Oop, the metal pins came off. That's fine. Don't panic. You might have to pull at your housing here a little bit just to get access to this piece. And then this can hang here. It's totally fine. This is where you're plugged into your actual main camera. If you really want to take this off, you can probably, I wouldn't recommend finagling with this sort of lock pin setup. It's more tedious than worth talking about. So just, don't hit this or get snagged on it. We got one point here and here where metal pins go to clip back in to your housing, which one of them actually stayed in here, which is this one here. 4-point connections. So just make sure you don't lose any of those. I got one that is up here and one inside, so we have 2 that popped out. I'm gonna take a second to get those. That one just landed right behind the display. I'm gonna set that down. Yep, and one's down here. All right, all accounted for. We're good. So this is the point where y'all saw the picture yesterday, and everybody was confused as hell, which was kind of funny, because I was just trying to show y'all that I'm in here doing this. So on these 2 points here, you've got 2 little screws. These are the T10 torque screws. So this is literally the only step that was left. I was just in a rush because we were trying to get to Disney, and didn't get a chance to take a picture of that. So I'm grabbing a Torx, T10 Torx, real easy. Do not lose these, because they will run away from you. Just gonna rotate that out. All hand tight, be gentle when screwing these back in. Don't overpower, manhandle it too much. You know, you don't need a whole lot of torque to keep these in, and now you'll see this is already wanting to come down. So it'll just come off its tabs and slide out, and there's your glass. Now don't be alarmed, it only looks dirty because that's the outside, and you can tell by the swipe nature, if you can actually even see this, that's outside. That's where the windshield wipers have gone across. And then yeah, I like to use isopropyl alcohol mixed with some distilled water in a little spray bottle and a good napkin, and you just use that alcohol mixture to clean the glass, which is perfect. Once it completely evaporates off, then use something like a glass towel or glass microfiber towel. It's real nice, and just get all of that touched up with the microfiber, nice and clean. Try not to bump into the cameras or anything on any of this hardware. Again, as long as you're not touching this hardware, you're fine. You don't have to recalibrate, nothing happens. If you just need that warm and fuzzy for whatever reason, sure, go ahead, recalibrate your cameras. You know, it'll take however long it takes to get that done, and you're back on the road and everything's fine. After this is done, you just put it back together the way you took it apart. Doesn't really get much easier than that. I also took the time to really clean this tray out. You know, there was some fuzz and bits of dust, so I took the time to actually make sure I got this as clean as possible too. Now, the easiest way to put this back in here, and you'll kind of see it when you're actually working on it, you have 2 points with little pins sticking down here that kind of line up with these holes. So you put this behind the pins right into that slot, and then the holes will seat right over those pins and line up with your Torx screw housings, or your Torx screw drive points. And then just hold it up, be gentle. You do not need to apply a lot of pressure to get these in there. And I've always recommended when working on anything with cars, you don't tighten down until you've got everything in place, all your screws, just because you can mess up alignments and fitments and such. So, you know, just get them in there, get them in position, and now that they're both in, apply a moderate amount of torque. Minimal, actually, just hand tight. You do not need a lot of turning force on these, just hand tight. That's perfect. All right, all of our pins are in place. Let's work it back to where it wants to sit in, and there you have it. We are firmly seated. You know, just to give yourself a good push there. And then since you're working around the area, I like to just sort of take that glass microfiber towel and wipe around too, which is, you know, it's just me. I can be a little picky when it comes to cleanliness. So then now to get the rearview mirror in, you notice the slots here, and you'll be able to see the prongs in here and the way it's set up. You just want to put it back in the way you took it out. First off, make sure you clip this back in place. Should be nice and easy. With any of these components, just don't force it. You know, you don't, if you're having to really force something, it's probably gonna break. So you wanna avoid that. So just come in the same way you took it out. Now you'll be able to mesh it all the way up in here, which is perfect. And then you're just gonna crank it. And try not to put too much force into your actual mirror. You'll see it move, and it'll slot right in place. And then your mirror is right back where it should be. And then you can tuck this wire up. It should be relatively out of the way. Plenty of space here to put your final component on. And then you'll just have to, you know, readjust your mirror to what you like. Now, again, I am not re-plugging in the little piece that was hanging here. It's just not really necessary. But you do have these 2 little tabs. They don't stick up too much on either side. So you're gonna wanna put those in first and then pop into place to the rear. So, top tabs up and in. and then bam. That's it, guys. You're done. You cleaned your glass, you got your rearview mirror back in place, maybe give it a little wipe down from messing with it, get the fingerprints off. It'll readjust as you go to drive. That's all she wrote. I hope you guys found that useful. As to how often you do this, I mean, leave it up to personal preference, and don't be worried about working on this. This is not going to void your warranty. It's not going to cause any concerns, just like taking this apart and cleaning stuff. Now, if you break things, you know, you break them and you got to repair it. You're going to have to pay to fix stuff. So again, take your time, be careful, and, you know, if you're just not comfortable doing this sort of thing, maybe take it in the Tesla or have a friend do it. I mean, it's really quite simple. Swipe down the glass, you're good to go. Again, you don't need to recalibrate. You can if you want. Doesn't hurt anything to do it. But yeah, that's it. I don't think there's anything else to really say. Let me know if you got any questions down below. I hope you did enjoy this. I didn't expect there to be such an interest in this when I put up that simple picture. So I do apologize. Shout out to Miss Jillian and everybody else who were asking about it and wanted to see this video. Please share this with people, especially on X. Repost it, repost it, repost it. Get views on it. The original picture got well over 10,000 views, so I'd love to see this beat that, because this will actually be a lot more inclusive and informative. With that being said, guys, you take care. I'll catch you in the next video.